Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hey, T-Shine.
ma'am.
Oh, we're stacked differently on my screen today.
Up and down.
I don't like it.
You said I don't like it.
I don't like my eyes having to do it. I like this. I don't like.
You could change your view. Just change your view and it'll be all right. Hello, Miss Lauren. How are you?
Hope everybody had a good Monday. It's not doing it.
Is it not?
It's already on gallery. It's just shaped differently.
Oh.
I don't like it.
You can do full screen. It might change it for you.
I'm in full screen.
Oh,
Yep. I am in full screen.
I'm never in full screen, but yeah. When I do mine, it always shifts you to horizontal.
Really?
Yeah, like that's why I never have mine in full because everything it looks like so big. I just do mine in half quarters. That's it.
We have two wonderful guests coming today. Today's discussion is about the vending machine business. Super, super excited to talk about that. These young men have really figured out a good system from beginning to end to help entrepreneurs be very successful. So they're going to tell us all about what they are doing. Alicia, you want to make yourself the host so you can do the restream?
No, because it's going to ask me to do the same thing. You need to be logged in. It'll ask me for my code on my machine, and you have the machine that does it.
Okay, then I need
for the iPad code, if that's what it's going to ask for.
to have that in front of me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, let me go get it.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. Make sure I don't have an email from our guests. Let's talk a little bit about, see, we've got some people on. I'm just going to give it a few minutes. But I think we can get started just giving the update on who we are for anyone that's new as our guests start coming in. Hi, Armandi, how are you?
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing well, sir. Super excited to talk to you guys this evening.
Is she on yet?
He's coming now.
Hello, gentlemen.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Good, good, good. Hi, Kashif, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Just give a little update and a preview of who we are for anyone who's joining us new. My name is Tawana Rivers. I am the CEO of the 10K Project. We are a thriving community of investors. And here at the 10K Project, for anyone that hasn't joined us before, we focus on equity crowdfunding as a way to invest in Black founders. But one of the things we know to be true is that unless we have disposable income, we're not going to really build wealth the way we need to. So one of the other things that we do is we educate our community on the different ways that they can build wealth so that they can start to really look at their future differently. And we have two amazing young men here with us that are going to talk to us about the vending machine business, because we know that this is one of those ways that people are successfully building wealth. I actually follow the vending biz. They'll talk a little bit about that. And when I met Armandi, it was for something completely different. And in that conversation, I realized he was connected to Kashif, who I am a big fan of because I follow the vending biz, really something I've been thinking about getting into for a long time. And so it just made sense to bring these young men here to be able to talk to us about what they're doing. So many of you are looking for that one thing that is exciting, that one thing that you can do that's pretty easy to navigate. And so this could be your one thing. And so we want to bring these founders to you to talk about what it is that they're doing. For anyone who is not a member of the 10K Project, please go to the 10kproject.com and join us. There's a lot of information on the website. We are Black 10K across all social platforms. And then for the people who have been here with us since the beginning, we appreciate you as always. Talisha, do you want to add anything, dear? Oh, you're on mute.
Yep. Nope, that is fine. I'm interested in getting to learn this because she's been talking about this for a while. So
yeah, I'm not making this up. I've really been talking about it for a while.
She has been on it like, oh, you can't wait. I'm like, tell me. She's like, no, you have to wait. So now I'm done waiting.
So gentlemen, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy, busy schedules to join us and talk to us about this venture. First of all, tell us who you are, tell us how you're affiliated with one another, and then tell us how you got started in this business.
All right,
You want to start?
I'll let you lead the way. Can you guys hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. I'll let you lead the way.
So my name is Armandi Marshall. I got into this business about 2016, you would say, Chief, 15. Actually, we both he wanted to get into vending and I wanted to get into cleaning business. And we didn't want to get into each other's business. So he didn't want to get into cleaning. I didn't want to do vending. So he actually went his own route and started and got into vending during that time. And I went the cleaning route. And after that, we soon found out that we, could use each other's services. By the way, this is my cousin as well. So that's how we are affiliated. But yeah, that's what started it. We started getting our own locations. He helped me to start getting into vending because he started out in it first. And then once I got into it, I started, going on my own path as far as, learning the the repair side of things, where he started taking care of his side of things, and then we kind of collaborated on everything. And then everything is history from there. So I'm gonna let him take it from there.
All right. Yeah, so and let me know if I'm not coming in clear, but it's a little weird talking with these headphones on. But yeah, my name is Scott Chief Edwards, from the city of Philadelphia. I've been in the vending machine business for the past 7 years now. So like you said, 2015. I started in at this point we've had lots of locations, different types of locations. We do coffee, we do vending machines. I have a fruit service that also goes with the vending machines. And it's pretty, it's pretty simple, as long as you know what you're doing. And as far as, our affiliation, like you said, we're family. So we've kind of always had an interest or attraction, I would say, to each other based off of our work ethic, starting with sports, I would say. We would spend a lot of time together, working out. We was playing basketball at that time. Both of us are 6'5" for the people who don't know. So we spend a lot of time playing basketball together, and that kind of that hard work, and that sense of like urgency and that work ethic kind of transitioned into business when we both found out we had an interest in business. Myself, I was working full time. I went to school for I went to college. I got a bachelor's and a master's degree, but it still wasn't enough. So I was looking to do something, to earn some extra income. So I got involved with the vending machines, and it kind of took over. It took a life of its own. I really was just looking to do it as a side hustle, and it just became its own thing, man. And I think with my first location, I was just about matching what I was getting from work. So once I saw that, I just wanted more locations, so I got that one, which was a hotel. Then I got a school. Then I got an apartment building, and then I kept going from there. I had some setbacks along the way, but kept it moving. Now here we are. Now I actually had an experience. So in the midst of me building my business, kind of took off fast. So I had a friend who I moved down from upstate New York. So with this friend, I moved him down to basically help me manage the business, and in exchange, I would show him how to set up his own. Right. So I guess me just going through the process of showing him how to set up his business actually taught me how to help other people, because a lot of the stuff that I felt like I would say would be like common knowledge or just wouldn't be too complicated, I didn't realize how much I was in, because I was just in that mode. But when he actually started asking me questions about how different things work, that's when I really started to figure out, like, man, it's a lot more to this than I actually realized it was. So that whole process taught me how to help people, and then that's when I started building the platform now, which some of you guys may be familiar with, which is the Vending Biz, where I help other people get started in the vending machine business. And at this point, I've helped like hundreds and hundreds of people, start their own successful vending machine businesses as well.
And you don't just help people start their business, you give them all of the tools. So I participated in a couple of your webinars. And so you really solve all the problems that people think about as barriers, right? So you've got an app to make, the process easy. You have a location finder service. Like, talk to us about, like, some of the challenges people have and how you solve that. And then obviously want you to tell the community like how they can join if they're interested and take the course, or join one of your webinars that you have coming up. I want you to talk about all of that.
I got you. So yeah, as far as what we offer, it is a lot, but it's mainly based off of things that I've experienced, like, in terms of what I've seen, I needed help coming into the business and what people were consistently asking me for. Like, so even when I got involved with helping people, I didn't have a book, I didn't have a course, I didn't have any of that stuff. I was just kind of putting out information, and then people kept asking me for stuff. Like, so it's like, do you have a book? You know, then I put together a book. And it's so crazy when I put that book together, you know, I just pulled it out of, I was in a process,
That's what
you know,
started it.
yeah, I was in a process of writing my life story. Like, so I had like a memoir type of thing going on. So I was writing that
You
out.
don't look old enough to already be thinking about writing a life story.
I've been through a lot. So
Yeah.
I wanted to write it all down. Like, so, you know, especially with the stuff that I was kind of, you know, overcoming. Like, so I was writing it, you know, I was already in the midst of writing that down, and the vending machine thing was part of that. So I just kind of pulled that part out of it and put it into a book with some extra details, of course. And that was like the first thing that I started, like, you know, providing to people to help them. And then from there, we went into a course, you know, for people that are more visual. And then location services. So, you know, I basically, for one, in the course and in the different, like, you know, teachings that I have, I teach people how to find locations, but, you know, not everybody has time to actually do it. So we did have, we put together a package where we will find locations for you, basically using the same tactics that we teach people, you know, where we just do the leg work for you. And outside of that, we do also have the app. And the reason that the app came about was because when I started my business, there was a lot of things that I missed. Like, so, and I say that, like, a lot of local resources that were around me that I didn't know was there. So what the app does, it basically helps identify your local resources that you might not know is there. And these resources are essential when you're trying to, you know, start and grow your business. So the app shows you where you can buy machines from. It shows you where you can get products from, where you can find repair technicians. And then we also upload locations and stuff as well to the app whenever they become available. So if a location popped up in, I don't know, Atlanta, Georgia today, we'll post it on the app, and anybody in that area that's a part of that community can take advantage of that opportunity if they wish.
Very good. Who would you consider to be the ideal vending machine entrepreneur? Like, is there a certain characteristic, or do they have to have a certain amount of time available?
Monty, what would you say to that?
I would say no. You just gotta be somebody who just have the desire for extra income, you know, because vending kind of runs itself. You know, you really can make money in your sleep, you know, with vending. Long as you get the location, you put the machine in there, you might only be going there, even if it's a good location, you might be going, you know, the max, what, twice a week, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we got a major account, like, and we don't go there more than twice a week, and that one does 5 figures a month.
yeah, so it kind of depends on the, you know, the traffic of it, but average, you know, you might be making between 400 and 600 a month, and you might be going to that location once every week and a half or once every 2 weeks. You can track your inventory, you know, with NIAX, which is a processor, you know, card reader company, for you to actually purchase anything through the card reader, like credit or debit, where you can kind of see your inventory. So you don't have to go there more often than not. But outside of that, I don't think there's any real characteristic that you need to have. It's just, you just got to have a hustle, just like you have with anything else.
All right, and I'll say to that as well. Even speaking on, you know, I know you just asked a question prior to, like, the biggest challenges. I would say the biggest challenges I see, you know, from people coming into the business is just their ability to, you know, it's the part that scares everybody. It's just being able to find locations, right?
Mhm.
But actually finding locations is not as hard as a lot of people think it is. It's really not. It's just, you have to set your business up a certain way where, for one, people can find you, you know, meaning those locations can find you, because that's majority of the way I get my locations now. They're calling me. right? But it's because of the way my business is kind of positioned right now. But you know, you have to know how to present yourself and set yourself up for success, because it's not that hard to find the locations, but you have to be able to land them once you find them. That's the part, right? Because I've seen people just some wild things. Like, so, you know, yeah, this is, I don't want to get too far off topic, but so for example, I had a location that was in Philly. When we first started doing the app stuff, you know, different things like that, it wasn't even an app at this point. We were just listing locations for people, you know, nationwide pretty much. And I would just throw them on, like, you know, social media if anybody wanted to purchase the location. I had one location that was in Philly. So I said, okay, you know, I'm free during that time. I'm gonna go with this person, you know, to this location. I'm gonna help you get it. You know, so I show up to the location. I call the person, say, hey, I'm here. You know, they get out the car, they have on flip-flops, basketball shorts, and wife beater. Like, so if you show up, yeah, mind you, we still got this location. We still landed it. But if you would have went in there by yourself, I guarantee you wouldn't have been able to. They wouldn't have gave it. I'm surprised they gave it to us anyway. But you know, you have to know how to present yourself. You have to know, you know, what they're looking for and whatnot before you sit in front of them and try to sell them your service. You know what I'm saying? So that part can be tricky. That's kind of the most challenging part. It's not actually finding them, but just knowing, understanding how to close them and how to present yourself.
And not giving up too much also, because I know one of the things you teach is kind of, you know, what's in it for them, right? As the location, and not giving up too much of your business to be able to land the location.
Right. Yeah. So you definitely don't want to go and mention the commission. You don't want to go, I never bring up commission. It rarely comes up. And if it does come up, you know your numbers, know how much you can give. The average commission, like industry standard, is like 10%. So that could be 10% of profits or 10% of, you know, just gross sales, just depending on how you negotiate that. And I'm sorry, what was the question you asked, Monty, again? What was that question that you answered? I know I missed that one, so I wanted to double back.
Oh, we had answered the question of the, like, does it take a certain type of person? Characteristic.
Oh, I got you.
I'm
Yeah,
curious,
so
how do you decide what kind of product to sell? I think that's also in the location. Like, how do I know, do I want food or do I want something else? Like, how do you determine what location is right for what product?
I got you. So I think when it comes down to it, the best thing to do is to have a form of communication with the location, communication with the clientele in that location. So if you could have a suggestion box, if you could have, like, I have an app on my phone that people can download, and it basically, the app will allow them to look through our inventory and rate products. And if they rate products high that we don't have at that location, we'll bring it to the location. The best thing, you know, sign like sheets, suggestion boxes, different ways to communicate with them. But depending on what type of location is, it's like a telltale type of situation. Like, meaning, like, if I get a gym, I know that's going to be power bars, different types of waters, you know, energy drinks, that type of stuff, Gatorades. If it's a rec center, it's going to be hot Cheetos, candy, you know, different things for kids. Like, if it's a retirement home, it might be ginger ale, Twizzlers, Fig Newtons, like, you know, so it's like certain.
Damn, you just named all my favorites. For the retirement
I'm
home.
about to say, we ready to go to the retirement home.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's certain like products that will fit in, you know, certain locations that will always kind of be, you know, that this for that type of spot. But it's also like staple products that's going to go in every spot. Like, so like water, peanut M&Ms, I put those everywhere. You know, a lot of different. I say it's like 5 or 6, probably more than that. It's a few. At least half of the products are staple products that's going to go in just about every machine. Then the other half of it is based on the type of location it is and what they want.
Yeah, and a lot of times the location is they're going to let you know what they want in there too. Even off the first, you know, meeting with them, And even when you got the location, you're gonna have, you know, either customers or employees that's gonna come up to you every time you come to refill that machine. They're gonna let you know what they want, what they need, and it might not even be something where sometimes it might not be a product where everybody might buy it, but it might be something that they just buy it. Like I literally have like one location where, you know, they want a certain kind of monster. I think it's a coffee. I think it's the mean bean monster, and nobody else buys it there. But that person buys. He wipes me out every time I refill the machine. That's just that person alone. So sometimes you want to honor their request, just the same as putting those, you know, suggestion, you know, boxes and, you know, forms on your machine as well, you know, because you want their voices to be heard. And you're going to test your own product sometimes too, you know, just to see what's going, you know, sell. Because at first, what would you say, like a month, 2 months, you're going to kind of be figuring out what
Yeah,
really
I'd say
sells,
like,
what don't.
yeah, at least like the first 2.5, maybe, like,
Yeah,
you know, it takes a little minute to get that mix right, because, you know, you got to kind of put it in there, let it set for a while, see if it
yeah.
moves, and keep doing that until you get a good selection of all the products that's moving.
Very good.
Well, I'll say this too, you know, my first location that I got, the first thing I did when I first got a spot, I went to Samsung, I know, grabbing stuff. I'm like, okay, this is good, that's good, you know, that's good. I put that stuff in the machine, you know, it sold okay, more than I expected. But then, like he said, every time I went back, it was like, hey, can you put what was it? It was chili Fritos. I do not like chili Fritos. So they said chili. I'm like chili Fritos. Like, hey, can you put some peanut M&Ms? I don't like peanut M&Ms. Like, so all the stuff that they were naming, it was like stuff that I didn't like, and I'm thinking, why do y'all want that stuff in the machine? Like, you know, but I put it in there, and that's when the sales really started taking off. You know, obviously, I don't have the best taste buds in the world, but you know, there's a lot of stuff
Not
that
for
they
you.
request in the machine. You're right, exactly. It's not for me. Like, so, and my kids might differ because they used to try to always eat my stuff when I used to keep that stuff in the house. They thought it was for them, but yeah, man. So you definitely want to listen to the people, and they're going to tell you, you know, one way or another, they're going to tell you what they want in there.
Mhm. So Denise is asking, how much does it take to get started? So the machines vary, right? You have, let's talk about that. You have old and new. What's the advantage of that? And what's the startup cost?
You want to take this? You want me to take it?
You equipment guy, you could take that one.
All right. So machines. So you have probably three different tiers, like pricing tiers of machines. You got non-reader compatible. Those are machines that's only cash and coins, and you can't put a card reader on there unless you actually upgraded the board, certain stuff inside the machine. Those range from anywhere from $600 to $1,000. That can be from private seller or actual distributor. Well, when it comes to card reader compatible, they are ranging anywhere from 1,000 to 1,800. That's refurbished. If you want to go new, you're going from about 1,600 to about 2,500. That's for like the snack, the standard snack and the standard drink. The next tier is like machines that's coming with card readers. Machines rarely come with card readers. They don't come with card readers unless the actual seller is selling his card reader with the machine. And that can range for a standard snack and drink machine from maybe $2,000 to 2,500. Anytime you think about new pricing, you always kind of got to add 1,000 to 1,500 on top of that refurbished price. And that's you may get it cheaper from a private seller, distributor. You know, you'll be in a good range pricing tier wise, but anytime you get directly from the manufacturer, it's going to cost the most. Now, when it comes to combos, at minimum, they starting at $2,000. That's for refurbished. They can range from anywhere from $2,000 to 6,000, depending on the model. It's 100 different models. Each manufacturer, they may have 20, 25 different styles of, combo machines. And that's kind of going of, have all different functionalities. You might see some that are digital. You may see some that look nice. You may see some that's just plain, black or white, whatever the case may be. So the machine pricing, it kind of varies, depending on whether you go on private, distributor, or manufacturer. If you want to go private, there's going to be certain things that you're not going to get, because you go private, it's going to be cheaper, and people like cheap, but what comes with being cheap. So a lot of times that don't work out well, because people are going to get these machines that's cheaper, and these people don't really know how to test the machine. They might just tell you that it works. They don't know if the compressor works or even actually get cold or stay cold. They may not even have the key to the machine. They may not know if the board work or how to do any programming. So a lot of times with me, I get a lot of people that just come to me just based off of them buying a machine from somebody else, and they need me to help them program it. So we don't care if you're doing business with us or not, because we do so many different things. We feel as though you're going to come our way anyway to some capacity, because we do everything in vending.
And I'll say this too in terms of the startup cost. So now we got our machines, right? So, for the people who don't know or don't understand, the used machines are just that. Like, they're straight machines that's been used. Refurbished machines are basically used machines with upgrades on it. Like, so they'll have the features of new machines, but you just get the machine at half the price that a new machine costs. So one feature that a lot of new machines have is something like a drop sensor. Drop sensors help to prevent things from getting stuck in the machine, like so the bag of chips, right? So some machines will have a sensor in there, and they call it like what is that called? The feature. I can't think of the name of the feature right now.
The guaranteed
Sure vent. Yeah, guaranteed vent, sure vent. And that's basically like, okay, this bag of chips the coil that releases this chip will continue to turn until the sensor feels something hit it. So what that's supposed to do is stop the bags from getting stuck in the machine, and it help people to prevent from trying to shake your machine and do different things like that, which occurs when stuff gets stuck. So you'll have features like that in the machine, along with other features like the card reader and different things like that you'll see in new machines, but again, it's refurbished, so it doesn't cost as much. But by the time you get your machines, most locations require 2 machines. They usually have 1 snack, 1 soda machine. So let's say we're around $1,500 per machine, and then you have to fill that machine up. You're going to need inventory. Inventory might cost you around $150, $200, maybe $250, depending on the type of stuff you're putting in the machine, per machine, right? And then we have, obviously, if you need your LLC and different things like that. Delivery usually costs around, I believe, around $150.
200.
It's about $150, $200. And then that's it for the most part. And that should get you going. Oh, you also need coins. So this isn't really an expense, but you do need to put coins in your machine to make them operate properly. And usually around $25 to $50 worth of coins need to go in each machine.
And that'd be change for your customers. So anybody that use your machine, those coins is for your customers. Yeah, and if the machine can't give change, it doesn't take money.
Okay.
Like, so if it doesn't have enough change to give out, it won't even take money. So that you definitely want to make sure the coins are in there.
So obviously, because I'm interested in this, I notice vending machines everywhere I go. And I've started noticing a lot of them now don't even have the cash option. Like, it's just straight card or like an app. I've noticed those machines. Is that like a new trend, or do you think people are still buying and using machines that use cash and coins equally as much?
Well, I'll say this to that. you know, in my personal opinion, I want to be able to accept as many forms of payment as possible, whether it's cash, coins, uh, crypto, Apple Pay. Yeah, I didn't even know those
Right,
machines
hello,
took
all
Apple
right.
Pay. I didn't even know those machines took Apple Pay until like it was like a few years ago, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I was walking up to a machine to put more. It was a soda machine to put more sodas in there. And it was like two people in line, you know, waiting to use the machine. First person got their soda. The second guy walked up and tapped his watch on the machine. So he tapped his watch and they gave him like a $5 credit, and then he picked two sodas. I'm like, I didn't even know you could do that. You know, so you know, the software continuously updates with the card readers. They do that on their own. Like they add all types of different forms of payment that it can accept. But for me personally, I want to be able to accept all types of, you know, all forms of payment, especially, you know, with the card readers, they charge you with fees. Like, so I like cash better, you know, so I don't get hit with any of those fees that are associated with the card reader, you know, the process.
Yeah, they are what, $7, $7 to $8 a month just for the device, and it's 5 to 6 cents per transaction, which is offsetted by basically you can set your reader up to be to offset it to charge an additional 10 cents. So when somebody pay with their card, something is $1, they paying $1.10.
$1.10, yeah.
Yeah, so it's covering the 5 cent, and you still making an additional 5 cent on top of that as well.
Nice. So Latrice has a question. I love this question because we're seeing more and more machines that have some of everything in it, right? If you go to a manufacturing plant, it might have gloves and aspirins and, you know, all kind of stuff that's not your traditional food and beverage. So Latrice says, do you have machines that hold other products, for instance, like clothing, personal products, etc.?
I do not. So I only do traditional vending. I have one person that I work with currently in Maryland. And she has, I think it's like an eyelash machine. And we were able to get her machine in Howard University, which I thought that should do really well in there. Because she's going to put a number of different things in that machine. In a mall. I'm not sure, I can't remember the name of the mall, but she got it in a mall location as well. But I'll say this. You know, sometimes you adapt to the community. Like, so for example, it was a person that I helped in Niagara Falls, New York, which is actually a friend of mine. He got his location in a barber shop, but this neighborhood didn't have a store around. It's no corner store. Like, so it was like a rural area. He set his machine up to where as though he was selling do-rags and all types of stuff out of this machine, just out of the necessity, because the people would have to drive to the store to get whatever they wanted. But his machine was there in that barbershop. So they would come in the barbershop just to use his machine so they wouldn't have to drive to the store. Like, so he started putting more like corner store type items in his machine. So you can do that to an extent, you know, depending on what type of location it is and depending on what type of machine you have, because the machine will have to be able to hold the product that you're trying to put in there. And so some machines are custom made for certain products and then other ones are not, but a lot of them are interchangeable. So those coils that hold the inventory are interchangeable in every vending machine that I can think of.
Yeah, so basically exactly what Kashif just said. Every machine is you can change the coils in any machine to kind of hold anything. So a lot of times people may be seeing, you know, a machine, it might be holding lashes or hair, and that'd be a standard snack machine. You know, it'll be a different form of a snack machine, but it's a snack machine nonetheless. Long as you have the different coil sizes in the right packaging, and it can fit in the actual coils, then anything can kind of be sold. And I've done a couple of custom machines myself. I did a lash machine for girls in Cherry Hill Mall. Something for somebody, another machine which is in Willow Grove Mall. Another custom, I do custom wraps as well. So like I said, you can.
What's the wrap, Monty, for the people who might not understand
Yeah,
what you're
talk to
saying?
us about the wrapping.
So the wrap is just a custom design that just go around, that wraps around the machine. So if you see a standard machine, you know, it might be black, you know, just around the machine. But if you want to wrap, let's just say you want Tawanda on there, Tawanda on there, you know, and you want it on the bottom, or you want it around the entire machine. Basically, once we get a JPEG file of the design, we put it in the computer and we do a 3D upload on the computer. So now once it's on the computer, we can mix match whatever spot, whatever design that you want on the machine, whatever placement. Then we send it back to you for proof as far as where you want the stuff at, you know, your design at. And then once you send it back to us and let us know, okay, you want it here, here, and here, then we'll send it back to you, show you how it will actually look in color, full detail, full design. And then when you say, you know, go, then basically it's just a flat out printout of the actual vinyl to go around your machine. So it's like a perfect fit for the machine, place it on.
Right. And
It's looking like a new machine.
yeah, so it's basically a way to, you know, to rebrand, like to brand your machine so people know it's not a regular vending machine. So when they look at that wrap, it's either gonna have your logo or whatever on there, and it's gonna be easy. It should be. I'm not gonna say it depends on how your wrap looks, but it should be easy to identify, hey, that's not a regular machine. That is a eyelash machine or a t-shirt machine or whatever it may be. You know, that should be able to be identified by the type of wrap that's on there.
Yeah, and full wraps go for about 600 to 900. Obviously, if you're doing one side or, you know, just the front is going to vary. It could be like 150 for a side or 200 for a side. Me personally, I only do full wraps because I don't want to get into doing one side or the other. And honestly, I like doing it. So I'd rather, you know, people actually see the machine in detail. Now, if you can't actually afford that, now they do have graphics and vinyls that you can purchase from like Staples or Office Depot, which are like decal stickers where you can get your design put on there, your name on there, and they could kind of go across the bottom or the top part of the machine. You know, if you didn't want to do a full wrap, but you wanted people to know that, you know, this is your brand, this is your business type of thing, especially if you have your own business too, and you might be putting it into one of your own locations.
Yeah, and I'll say too, you know, for people that's wondering, like the same people who wrap like cars and different things like that,
Right.
you know, they can, if they want to, they can wrap the machine. You'll just have to, you know, show them the pictures, give them the measurements, and, you know, basically, if you could show them the actual machine, if you have the machine already, you know, you show them the pictures, give them the details, and they should be able to come up with a wrap that can fit your machine. And that's another point, you know, since I said that, you know, with traditional vending, you don't want to get your machine until you get the location. With non-traditional vending, you want to have your machine first because you're going to have to ensure that the products, the custom products that we're talking about, Vince, you're going to have to get it wrapped. You're going to have to remember different things to that machine before the location even comes into the picture. But the other way around, we don't get the machine until we have the location.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very, very good. So I want to share with the people information about how they can reach out to you, the course. If you could talk a little bit about pricing, if you're okay with that, but just like how can we get started? So we know the cost now of getting started. We understand in general how it all works, but how can we get started? People are out there wanting to do this immediately. What's their first step?
So in terms of, so if you're going to do it by yourself, you know, the first step would just be like getting your brand together, finding your local resources, and when I say get your brand together, like your name, your logo, everything, find your local resources, get your paperwork together, like you want to have a proposal, you want to have a contract. And then after you find your local resources, at that point, you know, you can start like looking for locations, but you want to make sure that all that other stuff is done first. If you're going through, you know, our program, I have two different programs that I personally offer. And one is with mentorship and one is without mentorship. So mentorship is basically, I hold your hand through the starting of your business. So we have weekly meetings. We actually have a meeting. Next one is on the 8th. We have weekly meetings and we basically just talk you through getting started. So if we met today, I would say, hey, where are you at right now? Okay, you got that done. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And then once you get X, Y, and Z done, come back. And then, you know, we just keep doing that until you're basically done and at wherever you're trying to get. So that's one program. And then we have another program where it's just the course. But the course is like an A through Z course. So you go through that at your own pace. And all of that stuff comes with the proposals that we use, the contracts. For people who don't like cold calling, we have templates that you can use, for cold calling. So a number of different things, you can really utilize to help your business. Both of those options are out there. And then we have our actual page that you're referring to, like our social media platforms where we post free information. Like, so you could go there and just scroll through the page and you pick up a lot of free gems, The main course that I offer is around $997 right now. For you guys, I'm gonna send you a link after we get off of here. I'll send you guys a special link with some good pricing just for y'all. And then the course by itself, I believe is $250 if you just want the course. So, but that doesn't come with like coaching or anything, but you still get the material, go at your own pace and do it that way.
Wonderful. Very, very good. I love that. Any questions that you guys have for the gentleman? Don't hesitate to put it in the Q&A or the chat if you have some questions. Who else out there has been interested in vending? Put a 1 in the chat if you've been interested in vending, just a little apprehensive. Okay, Latrice, so you out there with me.
Well, let me say something while we waiting
Go ahead,
for people to ask a question too. We do have an event that's coming up. That's going to be probably in May or June. It's going to be a vending event. It's going to be sponsored by Disney. It'll be in California as well. So we will be sending out that information once we get everything sealed as far as the actual the flyer and whatnot. So we'll have that for you guys too. And hopefully we can see some of you guys there.
Y'all actually just got exclusive right there because ain't tell nobody that yet. That just happened.
Yeah, we just got that news
Thank
today.
you very much.
Congratulations. That's a big deal.
Where in California will the event be hosted?
It will be Disneyland. I'll let you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Actual Disneyland.
Lisa said, why Disney? Lisa, why not?
Yeah, that's who went to sponsor. I mean, we were working with somebody who was already in vending and also on one of the board members for one of the biggest events, vending events that's in the nation, which is called NAMA. And she decided to reach out to us, the vending biz, because I guess of the reach and the people that follow the page. She thought it would be a good idea to do, business with us. So,
and just to piggyback what he said a little bit, since he dropped the exclusive vibe like that.
hey man.
So NAMA is actually annual event, the biggest annual event for the vending industry that happens every year. Now the thing about NAMA is, you go to NAMA as a new vending machine, business owner, it can kind of feel overwhelming. Now, I'll say this: the guy that I learned from, his business earned around like $2 million a year. His vending machine business, right? When he would go to NAMA, I've never been. I was supposed to go twice. I didn't go either time. They invited me, just didn't go. One was because of COVID and the other one was something else. But he used to go to these events and, he would talk about how big these other companies were, and to me, I'm looking at him like, you make $2 million a year. Like, you a big company. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially at that time, that's when I first was starting. Like, so when you go to these events, for him to feel overwhelmed, I know the average person would just feel like out of their league and kind of, maybe discouraged, so we're putting together an event, and that's what she approaches about, putting together an event that's more so for the person just getting started that might not be at $1 million a year yet, or 500,000 or anything like that. where they can go and get knowledge and resources, because that's what NAMA is knowledge and resources, but more so for bigger companies.
Yeah.
And we're going to put something like that together for smaller companies, where we have like NIAX come out, which is one of the guys that he mentioned. This is a company that processes uses, that we use for the card readers. We have them come out. We'll have a different, software companies come out, different people come out that have, you know, I say that have different resources in, under like different umbrellas of the vending machine business. Basically, all the moving pieces that you need to be successful.
Yeah.
We're going to try to put them all in one room and have them speak, to everybody there, and make it a really good event where people can get a lot of knowledge and, a lot of gems.
And that kind of goes back to the question you asked of like the different kinds of machines. Some of those vendors, we will try to invite them there as well. We talk about people who do cannabis machines, people who do Bitcoin machines, people who do cryptocurrency, people who do the lashes.
And the lady that we're partnering with, she has a company called Baby Vend. So she has baby vending machines across the nation. She has them in multiple spots, across the nation. I believe I think she franchises, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she has baby products in her machines, and the same thing, her machines are wrapped, customized, and everything. So yeah, a lot of different people, want to be there, giving a lot of different perspectives on how they got started and different ways to utilize these different services we're going to put all in the same room to be successful.
Very good. Latrice is the perfect feeder for my question. So my biggest barrier is I'm nervous that I'll have a lot of repairs, right? And I'm not handy like that, right? So I'd have to hire somebody or find somebody to do repairs. That has been the thing stopping me from moving forward. Latrice has a question. She says, "What's the average cost for maintenance annually?" Just like a rough estimate.
Okay. I guess this is my expertise. So annually, it kind of depends on the machine, right? Honestly, machines don't really have too many issues. Your biggest cost and issue with any machine will be your compressor, which will be for a drink machine. Your compressor go out, that's kind of like your engine going out, but there are, if you have, people in the area, well, we have the app. So you guys have the resource to find repair people within your city, that can actually repair whatever issue it is, because, a compressor may not be getting cold, where it might simply just need Freon, or it might need a relay, or just like a car, you have to switch something off your car. It's the same thing you have to do with a machine. Now, in terms of a snack machine, you might have, selections that may go out. Your board may need to be replaced. Honestly, let's say that your programming board might be your biggest expense, and that might be $350. But if you replace the board, that's a one-time thing. If a board get replaced, you're not replacing that again for 15, 20 years. If one of your selections go out, is only one selection will go out. It wouldn't cause the whole row to go out. And a motor might be $50 to $60. I charge personally $100 for me to come out. I am the cheapest in the tri-state. Anybody else I know, they might charge $175 to $350 just to come out and diagnose. Now, they still come out to diagnose to fix whatever the issue at hand, but if it requires additional parts, 9 times out of 10, we bring whatever parts that could be the issue, because we ask you to put whatever the issues it is prior to, us actually coming out. But it never really gets to the point where we have to actually go back and come back again to have, to repair whatever part it is, unless you didn't make that known once we came out. So
let me jump in too, Monty.
Go ahead.
Because Monty does repairs for him. That's That's the main thing he does. You know, like he said earlier, he sells the machine, he does repairs. I don't do that stuff. Like I don't like selling machines. I don't like doing repairs. I don't do that. You know, that's kind of where he came in and we worked together. But from my experience, I'll say this: the most common thing that will go wrong with the machine are jams, coin jam, dollar jam. Those are the two most common things that the issues that you'll have.
Yeah.
If you ever have to replace a bill acceptor, which is where you put the dollars at, that's around how much is the bill acceptor on it?
They're between $75 to 100 and well, 175 new. So
Okay.
use the new.
Like around like 150 most of the time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Something like that. So the other thing that can go, that's common, is the coin mech, right? And all these things are plug and play. Like they're hooked inside the machine, you unhook it, you unplug it, and you take it out, you can put in a new one. How much
Okay.
is a coin mech?
Coin is ranging from $100 to about $225 refurbished to new. I mean,
And and those are the two most common things that you'll deal with. Me personally, like I said, I've been in the business for 7 years. I replaced 2 compressors, but you know, definitely right. When the compressor go, that's the biggest thing. But most of the stuff is just like it's just jams. Like, and once you
Yeah.
figure out how to unjam it, you know, you'll be good to go. And I'll say this too, without getting too long winded. You know, one thing I like about using the refurbished machines is it's still not too much technology in it. Like think of it as a car, like he just said. So I used to have a 2001 Grand Marquis, right? If I wanted to change the headlight on that Grand Marquis, the headlight goes out, I can go to the AutoZone and get a headlight for $5 and put that thing in about, I don't know, 3 minutes. Right? It's nothing. You take the old one out, put the new one in, easy. I get a brand new 2000 whatever Mercedes Benz or something like that. They changed that headlight. They had to take the whole front of the car off, right? Like, so it's the same thing with the machines. Like if you get brand new, you know, a lot of people think, hey, getting brand new is the way to go. You have less issues. That's not always the case. If you get brand new, and you have an issue, now you're gonna need some help. Like, but if you get the refurbish, you know, it's still easy enough to mess with those because it's not a lot of technology involved. You don't have to take everything apart to make a repair. It's honestly, it's simple to do 99% of the repairs. You know, I'm not a tech person. I'm still not, you know, he does. If I have an issue 9 times out of 10, I'll call him. But it's, you know, most of the time it's not nothing where it's too hard to, you know, figure out.
now,
Outside of the compressor stuff, I can't do the compressor stuff.
Right.
now also when he spoke on the bill validators and the coin mechs, they actually have a diagnostic table on the back of those devices. So if it's not accepting dollars, on the back of the device, it has a flashing light on it, and that flashing light will tell you exactly what the problem is. So you basically got to go off of that indication. It's the same thing with the coin mech as well. And a lot of times, you know, I see a lot of people, they'll go out and just sell their machines because they might need a new bill validator or coin mech, but a lot of times they just need to be reset, you know, and it's as simple as unplugging it.
I've brought at least 3 vending machines from people who said the machine did not work. We got the machine, it was a coin jam. Like you know, it just for them just not understanding how to operate the machine or understanding how it works, you know. So yeah, it's literally stick a screwdriver in there, knock the coins loose, and it's that good to go.
And I never really recommend new machines to people unless they have a location that's requesting that. You know, if your location is requesting a new machine, then by all means, get a new machine. But outside of that, use, refurbish is kind of the way to go. It's kind of like you buying a brand new car, 0 miles versus you buying a car, 20,000 miles. They both gonna last. You know, let's say this is Toyota. They both gonna last well into the 300,000s. It's the same thing with these machines. You know, they not breaking down in a couple years. They breaking down 15, 20 years down the line. And the biggest thing about machines, they hold value too. So if you buying it for 1,500, you always gonna be able to resell it for 1,500. Man, you might take some, couple hundred off just to sell it, faster. But outside of that, they hold their value, and you can always upgrade them too to be, for it to cost more if you wanted to resell it more.
And I think you just touched on a certain point. Now I want to miss it. This depends on the type of machine that you have. You have to know what type of machines to get, because most machines are good, but it's a few ones you just want to stay away from. Like from my personal experience, HY900, what's that? Sega? Is that Sega?
Yeah.
Sega. Don't buy Sega machines. Don't buy those. Every other machine besides that, I would say it's pretty sturdy. But Sega machines, man, they have, especially the older models. I don't know about the new ones. I've never used the new ones. I wouldn't buy the new ones just based off of the experience that I've had with the old ones. But yeah, those ones are very problematic. The ones I tend to use are automatic products. They also call them APs. Those are snack machines. If I'm getting a combo machine, I'm looking for an AMS combo machine. If it's a soda machine, then I like to go with Dixie Narco or Vendos.
I hate those machines.
I like Vendos personally.
Yeah, I know you do.
One of the
Yeah,
things
this-
I love about your Facebook group, I'm sorry, Talisha, I love about your Facebook group is people are sharing the machines that are giving them problems or the ones that they really love. Like they're really talking about. So I've heard that Sega thing in the group before. Sometimes there are a lot of issues with them. So I love the group in the community. It really kind of helps support the foundation that you guys have built by kind of taking care of each other within the community.
Now Sega too, though they have different models, right? That HY900, that might be their worst model. I'm gonna be honest with you. And me personally, I fix machines, so I don't really think it's that bad. But when people buy them, they don't get taught how to use it. And that's the biggest misconception of that machine. They don't get taught how to use it because they have these adjustable like shims that go in the drink selections, and you have to adjust that according to the size of the product of the bottle that you have in there. And what people do is they take it out of the standard setting. Let's just say this machine is a combo, so it's set up for, it might be 8 selections. 4 of the selections is cans, 2 of them is 20-ounce bottles, and 2 of them might be tall cans. Well, this person want to put all cans in it, or they want to put all 20-ounce bottles in it. So when you do that, you have to adjust it. And people don't get taught on how to do that. So it get these issues with it not vending and jamming up. And even when they jam, you have to go into the system to clear the code for it to be able to vend again. The same thing with a car. Your car light come on, they got to clear it. Once you fix it, they'll clear it. It's the same thing with that machine, with that model. And people don't teach people that with that Sega model. So that's why it gives a lot of people issues, and because a lot of people buy them because they're pretty, they look good. They got the nice graphic on them. People love them, but they don't get taught how to use them. Now, the other models outside of that, they got rid of that issue. You don't have to adjust it. Now you can put whatever different bottle size you want in there, and they'll still vend. So yeah, they hurt people with those complaints. But I like to tell people, it's not that bad of a machine if you're actually buying it from a distributor and they actually teach you how to use it. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, that don't happen. So that runs the customer into running into problems.
Very good. Talisha, what were you going to say, dear?
I think that was the whole point. Like, how do you find out these true? This is a vocational thing. It's not just buy the machine, read the owner's manual, just like with a car. You could do that, but most people don't go like that. They don't go online and find the audit. They go, hey, do you like this model and make? What did you think about it? Let me test drive it. Let me do. So there has to be some hands-on experience with the machines. And that was what I was going to ask. Like, how do you get that and learn from people using them?
And I'll say you would want to definitely ask the distributor too, because the distributors, most of the time they'll tell you, hey, you ask them, hey, which one of these machines is, which one of these brands is known to be a reliable brand? Like, and they'll point you in that direction. If they like talking about it, it's like, you hear Monty likes talking about that. That stuff. That's his thing. Like, whereas though that's their thing too. Like, so when you ask them that, they're going to tell you which ones are which ones are the ones you might want to stay away from, and which ones are the ones you might want to go with. And if you're using a distributor 9 times out of 10 as well, if you're using, the average distributor, they're going to show you how to program the machines, how to deal with any like technical issues that come up from the beginning. Like that's part of like they almost do like a training. Yeah, because they'll show you how to set the prices, how to unjam the things, how to change the shims. So shims are basically what you put in the machine to control the size of the product that comes out. And not all machines have them, but some of them do. But they'll show you all that stuff, in the beginning.
And another thing people don't know is that a lot of these manufacturers, they actually have customer service. So Sega has a customer service. They have customer service. USI, they have customer service where they might not be able to, they won't send a tech out to come fix anything, but they'll walk you through whatever the issue is. You can sign up. Sometimes annual, I think Sega is like $50 for the year, where you can call in whatever issues you have. You just got to be at your machine, have the manual with you, and they're going to walk you through whatever issue it is. USI, they actually send out texts. AMS, they have a customer service online. So a lot of times, that kind of alleviate, some issues. If you did buy from a private seller, you can rely on that actual manufacturer. But if they can't walk you through it and you don't have nobody to fix it, so you might, you still may be out of luck and still will need somebody to repair it. But, at least you have that to some capacity too. You're not, just out on the whim.
That's good.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. I'm thinking that the repair tech part is a potential revenue generator as well. Like somebody who wants to, like, who may be handy, may be able to figure things out intuitively, right? This would be a great opportunity for them to start thinking about servicing vending machines. I mean, how is it a matter of, looking up a bunch of manuals and trying to see how they work, or how would somebody get started like that?
There are not a lot of repair techs out there. So, and again, it's not hard. At least, most of the issues that come up is not hard. So yes, I would say there's an opportunity there. Even with, finding locations, if you know how to find locations, you can make good money just by doing what we're doing, it's, reselling them. Like, it's all, the skills that you develop over time, whether that's repairs, whether that's finding locations, and you could take these and kind of do them other places. Like, so I know one guy that's based in Philly, and he finds locations, for his own business, but anywhere that he finds them outside of his service area, he just sells them. Like, so if he finds one in Delaware, he doesn't service Delaware, so he'll sell that one, and then that's, however much locations usually sell for like $500. So if he does that around, 3 times a month, you make an extra $1,500 on top of whatever you were making from your machines, just by understanding how to, or knowing how to do that. Because like I said, once you know how to do it, it's really not that hard to do.
Yeah, the repair industry is a great revenue producing industry. I mean, if you want to work, I got into it personally. I remember a conversation because Chief had with me when he first made the ebook, and he told me how much the ebook was making. He was like, "Listen, you need to start. You need to get your own book. You need to do this. You need to do that." And I told him, like, that's your lane. I'll take the other lane, far as doing repairs, working with the manufacturers, working with machines, and he helped me get my first location. Now, my first location, I was having issues with, and he wasn't no help to me at all. Like, I used to be at my locations calling about stuff, and he used to just basically tell me to figure it out. So I used to be at my locations for an hour and a half with a bill jam or a coin jam or something like that. So that's what kind of led me into doing repairs. And when we first got into it, we found a guy that was going out of business, and this was a crazy deal. He had about 20 machines that he sold us for $1,500.
Oh my!
Right? Yeah, it's 20 machines. We had to pick up these machines. Mind you, we didn't know how to do deliveries or anything. We had
They was some good
ground.
machines too.
We was in the dirt. We was in the mud. We had to do multiple trips to go and get these machines. And we had a warehouse full of machines that we was just looking at it, well, we get locations, we could just put them in, spots ourselves. And I think it got to the point, I'm like, well, people been asking, where we getting machines from. So I just started, doing my due diligence on actually trying to fix machines. And I work with a guy, older guy. He's kind of like a mentor to me. He only do repairs. It's my guy, Rich. And he kind of guided me a little bit, because he'll guide me and then disappear, then guide me and disappear. But he helped me out. He helped me out a lot when it comes to repairs. But I say this to anybody: if you an electrician, you can work on machines, because machines be having electrical issues. If you somebody who do refrigeration, HVAC, you can work on machines, because that's compressors. Compressors that's your highest costing, job for a compressor. Even just to repair or fix one, you people are charging people $600, and it might only take an hour, for that job to be complete. So a lot of times it's kind of what would you call it? Trial and error kind of thing. You kind of got to go to the system to see what's wrong. So if I know if it's a bill validated issue, I have to check the CoinMac. Then I have to check the wires to the bill validator. Then if it's not that, then I have to reset it. And then let's just say that don't work. Go ahead.
Now I was about to say, and I'll say this, from my experience, again, the most common thing is a loose wire. It was numerous times. I'm not even gonna say one, numerous times where it's like, man, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and then I'll buy a part and I'll do this and I'll do that. And then I'll look and it's nothing but a loose wire. The loose wire thing has got me so many times, and I check the wires too, because I just happened to be, so many times I'm like, let me check the wires, make sure they're good. And then the last time I checked the wire, it looked like it was good. I didn't check it all the way. I checked it about halfway, because I kind of was convinced in my mind that it was something else. So I was like, no, it's not that. And then I got the part and I went to go put that part on, and it was just a loose wire. So I bought the part for no reason. So the loose wire thing is really like, one of the most common outside of, some of the other stuff that we already talked about.
And stuff can get loose over time, because you opening and closing your door, that can cause wires to get loose. You got people that may be pushing your machine, shaking your machine, trying to get products out. That's going to loosen things on the inside of the machine. If you get a machine delivered, obviously they moving and pulling the machine, stuff can get loose as well. So with that loose wire situation, that definitely happens a lot. It's a very common issue. I know, because I had to fix quite a few machines for this guy for that issue. It's, so, it's a great business.
And I'll say this because I wanted to defend myself. So it's not that I didn't know how to fix his issue, it's that I wanted him to figure it out on his own, because I wanted him on my team. You get what I'm saying? So whether that was on the teaching side or on the business side, I know I wanted him on my team based off of the things that we've done in the past. But the thing about me is I'm gonna test you first. So I'm gonna see how well you handle that struggle and see if you figure it out. So I know if you figure that out, without me really helping you out, then I want you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that was. He may not know that, but I just wanted to feel myself in.
Yeah.
And now he do it. Now I call him when I got it. Whenever I got an issue, I can't figure it out. He the person I go to.
I love this. So you definitely eased my mind a little bit about some of the, because of course I had it being the compressor every time in my head, right? Because I think worst case scenario. So I love that sometimes it's simple that even I could do it and not even have to reach out to a technician. But if I needed to, I do also have to remember the app has, the technicians that'll be in my area. So wonderful.
And watch them, when they come out, if you ever have the one of them come out, watch what they do, record them. That's what I did. That's how I learned. I watched them. Hey, okay. And then after a while, they dealt with enough issues. It's like now you know everything. Like it's not, and like you said, it's not a lot of parts to it.
I'll be fixing machines, and they be customers that be down there with me, inside, damn near inside the machine with me. I got to tell them, give me a little space.
Yeah, they really want to know. They want to see.
Lisa said, how many machines do you need to make a decent living to replace your primary job? So I guess that would vary based on what your primary job is, but let's talk about on average, how many machines would you need to make $100,000 a year?
One can set you off, but go ahead, Chief. This you right here.
So now that's such a broad question. You know,
Yeah.
I just like saying, you know, the average machine is going to produce around $500 a month, right? So let's say we got two machines. Most locations have two machines, right? So most locations have two machines, and then we got each one earning $500 a month. So that's around $1,000 per location, right? So if you want to make it 100,000, that's by those numbers, that's 100 locations, right? But I personally have machines and I've seen machines. I know somebody who has a machine that does $4,000 per machine. I have a machine that does over $2,000 per. Actually, it's one up on my price on that machine. So now it's probably gonna do around closer to $3,000 for that particular machine, right? I have a location that does last month this location did $25,000, right? It's like, so it really it depends on your location. Like, so if we just talking about the average good location, you're looking at about $1,000 per location. So for me personally, you know, my first location did around $1,500, $1,600 per month. And at that time, I was only making $800 every other week. So it was matching what I was getting from my job, you know. So it also depends on, you know, where you live at. If you live in New York, you live in, you know, because different places have different, you know, living expenses, of course. So, but that's a lot of factors involved to answer that question. But that's like the general answer to it is one good location should earn you about $1,000 per month.
Okay, that's a good estimate. Vanessa is asking how to download the app and the Facebook group info. Well, the Facebook group is The Vending Biz, right? BIZZ. Oh, and Talisha just put the app in there for you. Very good. Oh, Wayne had said, how do you report income taxes to the IRS? So one of the things you teach in your webinar is really how to make this a legitimate business. This is not just some guy with a vending machine. Like, this is a business, a legitimate business.
Right, right. Yeah, and honestly, you know, when I started it, I didn't plan for it to go there. It just happened, and I learned along the way. But I'll say, when it comes to taxes and different things like that, I always say it varies by your state. All right, it varies by your state and your city. Every state and city has different taxes, right? It also depends on how your business is set up. If you're set up as an LLC, LLCs are taxed differently than S corps. S corps are taxed differently to C corps, and so on and so forth. So it's really about how you're set up, because I'm in Philadelphia. Philadelphia, we have a lot of taxes. We have a sugar tax. I was just talking to him about earlier. We have, you know, the regular sales tax and different things like that. A school tax. Like, so these taxes aren't the same everywhere. It's going to be determined by where you live, but the person who sets up your LLC for you, one of the companies that I recommend is LegalZoom. So if you lose a resource similar to LegalZoom, they'll tell you exactly what paperwork or documentation is needed to operate a vending machine business in your particular city area. And then when it comes to the taxes and whatnot, that's going to be determined by the actual taxes your city has in place for business, and how your company is set up when it comes to your LLC or your S corp or your you know, nonprofit or other different types of entities you can create.
Nice. Very, very good. See if we have any additional questions. This has been a wonderful session, guys. It really has been. This has been great. So what we can expect is to get some pricing information from you, some discount information from you, and we'll send the replay out to the community and post it on our social platforms with all of that information. I have a feeling this is what people needed to get them that little push they needed to actually do this. This is one of those, like I said, for myself, one of those things I've been thinking about for a really, really long time. And I think I've been waiting for this day to say, okay, I feel like I'm ready. So thank you guys so much for coming. Latrice says this has been an awesome session. Wonderful. Latrice, I think you're like me. I think we just needed to hear it firsthand, right? Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. This is definitely an informative session. Really great information, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you in California as well, because I'm already.
You
so
guys
glad.
gonna see us a couple more times.
I was getting ready to say, actually,
Actually,
we are going to see these wonderful gentlemen again in a couple of weeks because they also have another business I want them to talk to you about, the trucking industry. And so they are going to come back in a couple of weeks and talk about trucking.
Awesome.
They are doing it all. They are doing all the things. And so we are going to tap into, I can only imagine what we're going to talk about with trucking. Because right now that is, supply chain is the hottest topic everywhere still. I think COVID tested us, and that's still a reality that we have just from a supply chain nationwide. So, super excited about this conversation in trucking, as well as, what we've done tonight with the vending. Denise said, wow, can't wait. Look at that. Got him excited.
Y'all gonna see us a few more times.
Yes.
Awesome.
Brenda said their family's been thinking about doing this, and so she's very appreciative. Thank you for your time and your knowledge. So
All right, no problem.
very good. We will get that information out. Guys, thank you so much. Armandi, thank you so much. Because like I said, I don't even know how we got on. I don't even know how we got on off the topic we were talking about originally to get to this. And then I was like a fan. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
So this has been awesome. It was everything I needed it to be. The community definitely needs this information. What we do here is very simple, right? We are helping people get the information they need to build wealth. It's not, we are behind the 8 ball on building wealth, not because we are not capable, but because we just don't know how to do all the things, right? And so, I love when founders come like you and share your knowledge. I love, Kashif, that you took everything you learned, right, the hard way, and you decided to package it and share it with people so that they don't have as many bumps and bruises that you had getting started. And so thank you for that, because so often people hold on to that information, right, and they never think to share it. And so really, really appreciate that you guys are doing these amazing things and you're willing to share it with our people so that they too can realize some financial freedoms that allow them to live their dreams and live in their purpose. And so here at the 10K Project, we welcome you to this community. We appreciate you so very much. And congratulations on all of your success. Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I just want to leave it off with this, for anybody out there, thinking about getting started with anything. It doesn't even have to be vending. Man, don't be too scared to go for it. At the end of the day, you have to take a risk. You have to take a chance in order to make it happen. I see so many people with so many different opportunities, and they just kind of scared to go after it. But that's the only way you're going to get to it. Even if it doesn't work, you learn from it and you just keep going. As long as you don't stop, you're going to eventually figure it out. But never be too scared to take a risk.
Yeah.
That's great advice. And on that note, we're going to say good night. We'll see you guys next week. For those of you who are members, tomorrow's founder is Black Tech. It's an app. I want to give you a better hint than that, but I'm not going to, because that makes it.
She's gonna keep it tight.
I keep it tight. So you got to show up tomorrow at our Bet on Black pitch. For those of you who are members, for those of you who are not members, I'll just tell you really quickly, every Tuesday night, we come together with this investor community and we bet on Black, which means we listen to a presentation from a Black founder who is raising capital via equity crowdfunding, and we rally around them and we love on them and we listen to their presentation. If we decide that individually that investment fits in our individual investment portfolio, we then invest in them. so that they can meet the goals they have financially, so that they can realize their dream and change the world, because so many of our founders have such innovative ideas and things that they're trying to do. They are really solving problems and changing lives, and we get to invest in them early. And so if you're a member, you do have to be a member to join our Bet on Black Pitches. We welcome you to come. If you're not yet a member, please consider joining us at the10kproject.com. Membership right now is only $100 annually with a coupon code. I don't know how long we're going to keep that discount. I kept saying through first quarter, but I don't know. We'll see. And so since I don't know, you might want to go ahead and get that $100 annually right now. You do.
She will change her mind because she does that.
But,
She says it.
but the Bet on Black pitches are truly magical for anybody who has come to them. I mean, to see the founders present, and it's not a competition, right? So the one founder comes, they present, and we get to ask questions and they answer them. So we learn about not only the project, but we learn about the industry. Every week we learn about a new industry, which I think is the best part of it. Because we get to see things a little differently from an investor standpoint, but then also from a consumer standpoint. And we've had recently some really amazing pitches in the Black tech space. We had a futurist come to us last year, Brandon the futurist, Black futurist, and Brandon said, Black tech is what you want to focus on. And so we listened. And every time I get the opportunity to present to you guys a Black tech solution, I am going to. And so we have one tomorrow that I think you guys are going to absolutely love. And so please join us 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you again, gentlemen. We appreciate you, Talisha. I absolutely love you. To the community, thank you guys for showing up another week and hanging out with us. You could be anywhere, and the fact that you decided to log in here means the world to us, because we know that time is not something you can get back. So thank you so very, very much, and we will see you guys later.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening,
All
everybody.
right.
Good
Thanks for
night.
having us. Bye.
Thank you.